Yo, what's up, Walter?
What's up, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm getting a call. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
Walter's taking a phone call. We'll probably cut out this part of the segment, but, you know, sometimes it's a quick phone call.
Sorry about that.
What was it? Who was it, dude? Was it the Lord?
Yeah, it was the Lord.
What'd he tell you?
He said, keep up the good work, boys.
Really?
Yeah, he also said that even though I got the number and Griffin's name wrong, and it's actually like 667.
Yeah.
He said it is actually the McElroys who are the Antichrist.
Dude, I mean, I believe it.
But he also told me that it's like two sides of the same coin, the Christ and the Antichrist, you know what I mean? And not to like be too scared about it. And they're actually pretty chill still. And he doesn't blame us for liking them.
Hell yeah, dude. That's rad. I'm pretty pumped. I'm glad that all is well.
Yeah, and it looks like I won the bet.
Yeah, you did. So
Damn.
you get, what, $10?
I'll take $10, yes.
Dude, how's life, man? It's been a crazy week.
It's been good, man. I've had a few days of not really sleeping too much, but other than that, I can't complain.
Yeah.
Stuff's been pretty chill for me in my little quarantined area. What about you, man?
Dude, I'm tired of quarantine. I'm ready to be done with this shit. I need this to be over.
Yeah, for sure.
For my mental. I never thought I would say that.
No, it wasn't too bad at first.
No, I'm pretty much like, I can do me, you know, like real heavy just in the house. But now it's like, it's gotten bad.
Yeah, it's exhausting, man. I miss hanging out. Like I was just thinking about how long we've just been doing the podcast remote now. And I'm like, fuck, man.
Dude.
Want to hang out with my boy Dave again.
It's been brutal, right? I mean,
yeah, dude.
I don't like not seeing you in person.
Yeah, it sucks.
So, well, dude, this is Tome of Chaos podcast.
Yep.
We are trying to crowdsource a religion that doesn't suck if it's your first time here.
Yeah.
And we're doing a good job of it. We're doing a bang up job.
So far, we at least have not done anything to harm anyone so far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Which is more than I can say for most religions. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been, 2,000 years for Christianity. So
they got a head start.
They got a head start on the harming of people. But as long as we can go 2,000 years without harming people, we're doing pretty all right.
Hopefully we can start helping some people too.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's ideal.
Yeah. So, I think that the reason it's been so crazy this week is because, I don't know, would you call them a cult? A cult of people?
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, so first there's like the cult of like right-wing politics. But then on top of that, there's the fucking QAnon Trump cult that we are getting to see now.
Yeah. We tricked you guys. We're doing a politics episode.
Yeah, we're talking politics again.
For sure.
Sorry, guys.
But we, it definitely goes hand in hand, right?
Oh, it's all tied together for sure. I mean, it would be very difficult to separate the two, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's 2 weeks at this point. We only record every 2 weeks. So, it's been 2 weeks so far since the insurrection or coup or protest or riot or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, which I honestly like talking about it now because there's been a ton more news that has come out. A dude tased himself in the balls and died.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
even
know if
that
it's
could
proven.
kill you.
I don't know if it's completely proven. Well, he died of a heart attack.
From the pain of his balls?
I mean, dude, if I fucking shot a taser into my balls,
yeah, maybe.
Probably fucking give me a heart attack too.
Some people get, but I mean, you probably got a vasectomy while you were conscious, right?
Yeah, I did.
So you can handle some ball stuff for sure.
Yeah, but I didn't feel it.
I guess that's.
I smelled it.
So.
I smelt it. I smelled it frying, dude. It's fucking weird, homie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely didn't feel much.
I got you.
So yeah, I mean, where do you start with it? Start from the top? Like a bunch of fucking people went to a rally of Trump's in DC and fucking went to the Capitol to fuck some shit up.
I don't know where to start. One thing I would like to say is like to all my conservative leaning friends who said, you know, oh, Trump isn't a fascist. He doesn't even use fascist rhetoric, whatever. I mean, those guys got these ideas somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like he directly called for them to do stuff right before they did stuff. Like he led that rally.
Yeah.
It's fascism, man. Yeah. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So there's that. I don't even know where to start with it, man. People are so fucking cooked in the head about like what's real and what's fake at this point.
Yeah.
That's the underlying point, right?
Yeah, shit's been crazy. You know, I think that it's hard, man. We've had conversations about this over the last couple weeks, and I even feel like there might be some shit that we differ on, opinion-wise, in some ways.
Could be.
Of the fact that it's so easy to want to fucking be like, well, that's what you deserved. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird because there's levels to it of like Trump being a fascist, which is true. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was, if that coup would have, I don't know, if they would have stopped the government, which isn't what they were really even trying to do. You don't do that shit at the Capitol. You know what I mean? Like, they were trying to burn ballots.
Right.
To stop the vote, but we have records of those all over the place. So
it's
that one
nonsense.
It's total nonsense. And then, so they were trying to instill a God King.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the main purpose was like, the stated purpose, at least, was we're going to get them to recount or count more or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are people going there with the explicit purpose of kidnapping and assassinating people. Like multiple people who attended have said that.
Yeah. One, like they wanted Mike Pence's head, and Nancy Pelosi. Which like, dude, isn't that the funny thing of how quickly Trump has like just thrown everybody under the bus? Like started with McConnell and now he's like, Pence too, fuck him. Like, I don't need a vice president anymore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like, I guess I want to fucking talk about how easy it was for them to get into the Capitol. That's some shit.
That was nuts.
Like, dude, I think they were only there for like 4 hours, maybe. Like it was going on for like 4 or 5 hours.
I don't know. It was quick. That's all I know.
It was quick, and they like, I mean, they were in the Capitol. It was like, oh shit, people are walking to the Capitol. Oh shit, people are in the Capitol.
Yeah,
and just like hanging out. Like people were just fucking chilling.
Dude, that one guy took a picture of Nancy Pelosi's fucking desktop.
Yeah.
Other people were like boxing cops just like in the middle of the fucking rooms. all kinds of just like weird behavior for
Taking
sure.
selfies with cops.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
Like, god damn. So I don't know.
That's how they got in so fast, is the fucking cops let them in, right? Like,
yeah, it was.
Some of them were seeing their boys who were off work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Hey,
They're
you
like,
you bowling on
Dave."
Tuesday? You bowling
Right,
on
right,
Tuesday, Dave? I'll see you there. Yeah, dude.
Come on in,
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
dude. Here, I'll crack the door for you. You go in. You know,
Yeah.
don't kill anyone.
Yeah.
All right. Take a couple pictures of some shit.
Steal a podium.
Scare someone, intimidate a few people, then just like get out, and then I'll see you Sunday for bowling.
So I think that the most tragic thing about that is like they weren't met with the resistance that Black Lives Matter was met with.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, even like they were met with a modicum of force, like in comparison, like, and it was in the Capitol building, you know, it's like,
dude, they were basically met with like handshakes and hand jobs. Like it was fucking like it just, they didn't fucking, I mean, the selfie thing and all that. It's like, I didn't see any cops taking selfies with fucking Black Lives Matter protesters.
yeah, well, I saw a couple, but I mean, photo ops are photo ops.
Yeah, for sure. Got to look good, right? That's the same reason they play basketball in my neighborhood with kids.
I definitely don't think that they would be taking selfies with Black Lives Matter protesters in a Capitol building.
No, absolutely.
Like they would do that shit on like a street corner, you know what I mean? But that's a way different thing.
You can compare the pictures of the Capitol. Have you seen that one?
Oh, yeah.
Of like armed guards standing 5 feet from each other on the Capitol stairs.
Yeah, man.
During the BLM protest. So I think that a cult busted into the Capitol, QAnon and Trump people. Are they all the same, I guess, at this point?
I mean, it's really hard. I mean, I like to treat people as individuals as much as I can, I don't like to just blanket a bunch of people as like a thing. But I'm assuming a lot of the people, if not all of them, if they're storming the Capitol building to get a recount of from what we've observed, completely legitimate election, to get the least popular president we've ever had back into office. Like, I don't know, dude. It kind of seems like you have to be one of these QAnon motherfuckers or just someone who's like riding that, because like, I don't know, probably a lot of the QAnon stuff is really just white nationalists and white supremacists creating some kind of weird fiction to get non-white supremacists on their team.
Yeah, I think that, and it's weirdly like tied into like Christianity, like
Well, Trump definitely used Christianity as much as he could.
Well, I'm saying even the QAnon shit, right? Like this is like some dude on 4chan started posting shit about conspiracies. And these people just ate it up. Do you think that this would happen if we were in quarantine? Like the whole QAnon shit?
Oh, it'd been going before quarantine.
Was it?
Yeah. So this is actually, from what I can tell, this is like a long-standing, like, and I could be off on this, but I think this is like a long-standing plot by white supremacist groups that go back, hundreds and hundreds of years. So when like the internet first started becoming popular, the white nationalist community actually really picked up on that. Like they really were like, oh, now we can talk to other white supremacists in every other state, because before you can't really be as open, like 80s, right? Like when the internet's happening and shit, you weren't allowed to be fucking white supremacist.
Yeah.
We were we were there. But the internet came out and they're like, now we can actually grow bigger because we can speak to people without being monitored. So that white nationalists, I forget what the group specifically, they had this gang back in the day, and they created this thing called Liberty Net, which was their own like private internet.
Oh shit.
So once they for a long time came up with all this like different conspiratorial propaganda and shit like that they started disseminating on boards like 4chan and shit like that, and recruiting a bunch of kids, and that's where you get the alt-right and all that shit. Is like people were producing all these memes of like racist ideology and like all that shit, and then they started spreading it as memes or as jokes, and then all of a sudden the joke becomes not a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that the QAnon is an extension of all these like racist propaganda memes that I don't want to repeat because I think they're awful and they actively, ruin people's perspectives and take otherwise smart people and make them into fucking racists.
Yeah.
But I think the QAnon thing was an extension on that.
So, the only reason I was asking that question is because I was like, man, like, I feel like people are fucking bored and they're on the computer more than ever. You know what I mean? So these people who may not have been wrapped up in these conspiracies have like been able to grab them way easier than they've ever been able to, and they're not relating with people either in a lot of ways too, like they used to, where people are like, hey, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like what you are posting on Facebook right now is crazy.
Right.
And I don't know. It's like, I think that this shit has been boiling for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I think the quarantine stuff definitely excited some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and everybody's fucking hurting for money. You know what I mean? Like everybody's fucking hurt. These people, it's hard for me because it's like, we've talked a lot about cults on this podcast, and like the more we talk about it, it's like, man, you end up just feeling bad for the people who got swept up in it. And some of my arguments about this is like, where do we stand with like people becoming, I don't know, like, I don't like the prison system and they're sending people to prison. I don't like, we've talked about this stuff, and it's like, I don't like that people are being put on no-fly list, even though like they suck,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm like, if we're going to fucking solve this problem, you have to just go to the top. Like, none of these people, I mean, a president told them to do it.
Yeah.
They were planning shit online for sure, but a president told them to do it, and I think that kind of shit could have happened at any time in our history, of like you being really about the person that's in office and him being like, look, they're stealing from me. I was like reading about history stories where it's like, back in the day, presidents, when they were running against each other, would just run an ad in the paper that was like, John Adams died, so you can't vote for him because he's dead. You know what I mean? And it's like they fucking were manipulating the news back then. Like, this isn't new,
Right.
And I think that, back then people could have gotten crazy and fucking did shit. Are we going to blame the people or the president? I guess is my question.
You have to hold people responsible for their actions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you just, I mean, we're not just going to let a bunch of white supremacists continue to spread white supremacy and, act out terrorist acts. Like, luckily any bombs that were planted at the Capitol were found and like shit like that. But, we can't just be letting people plant bombs on government buildings because their feelings were hurt about who got elected.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I guess I'm just having a hard time like finding that, not like wanting to be consistent.
Sure.
Of like, an unarmed woman was killed by the cops. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I really want to be able to be like, damn, look at that. That's crazy. She got what she deserved, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, you know? Because that's the pressure of the right that we get all the time for our shit, you know?
Yeah.
But also it's like, man, I'm just not cool with an unarmed woman getting shot by the cops, you know?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
In any situation.
Yeah, the cops shouldn't murder people, and they also shouldn't be allowed to.
Well, and I think that I'm reminded back of when of 9/11 and some of this shit, right? Like I was thinking about that, like when there were people who were like, yo, like maybe we shouldn't be so hard on these people that you keep calling terrorists. You know what I mean? Like, this was a few people who did some crazy shit, you know? And that's when all these like terror laws and no-fly laws and fucking Patriot Acts and, you know, like all this shit where it was like, now we're just going to monitor fucking everything, you know? And it's going to come down on like people of color. And like, that's what worries me is like, these dudes were fucking idiots. Like, you lost, your president lost. All right. Like,
right. Yeah.
He's not going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Like, just forget it.
Well, he went to the Super Bowl and he lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so back off and fucking let the government still be the fucking government, whatever they're going to do. But then like with this, it's like, it seems like to me that what's going to come out of it is more and more of that, like, anti-terror, that like anti-terror shit, treason, more laws. And with that, I'm afraid that people, I mean, it's going to end up on people of color again, no matter who did it. Like, laws are put in place for everyone is what they tell us, but the people who are affected mostly by it are people of color, poor people, you know, shit like that. So it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like that if the left was revolting, it would look very similar to what happened.
Yeah, it would look identical, but it wouldn't be for, you know, selfish and misled reasons to do fascism.
Yeah.
Like intention has to matter. And the right isn't going to extend the left any favors like this. They're not going to defend the left's right to seize power by force. If the left was ever like, we need to do something different, and the only way we can achieve that is through acts of force. It's not like the right's going to stick up for them. They don't think that is the right thing. Same way, I'm not going to stick up for these guys trying to do fascism. Like, in both circumstances, the cops should not murder people who are nonviolent. That's wrong, regardless of your intentions for doing that. But, yeah, man, the reason you're revolting is really important. Like, if the reason for revolt is that people need to be able to afford their insulin so that their kids don't die, that's a lot different than we feel like Joe Biden is stealing the election. That's a very different thing.
Well, and I mean, they do think that like if Joe Biden becomes president, then it's just everybody becomes pedophiles.
Sure, yeah. They look, if you have brain poison, it's 100% reasonable that you would do what they did, but that doesn't mean they get to escape the law just because they have brain poison.
Yeah.
I mean, if the left throws a revolt because we want people to have better lives, it's not like we're not going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, you go to jail. You went against the system of power and regardless of if that power is good or bad, you went against it.
Yeah.
And when you go against the system of a power, you get put where the system puts you.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, people on the left get treated even worse a lot of times, it's like,
Yeah.
I think that we've seen forever people going, I've had homies go to jail that are vegan and like they refuse to feed them vegan food, and
Right.
this fucking QAnon shaman's getting organic food brought into
Right.
them,
Yeah.
which is like, I believe that this QAnon shaman should get organic food, and also Muslims shouldn't have to eat pork.
Yeah.
You should give them halal, shit that's, halal. And like, you should also give vegans and vegetarians veggies and non-meats,
Yeah. Just because you're a criminal doesn't mean you sacrifice all rights as a human being.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess it's just like, I think that the thing that I'm struggling with is like, I guess I'm just not able at this point to just be like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I feel bad for not, I was like, immediately I was like, man, like, if you feel like democracy's being fucking taken away from you, burn the fucker down.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that you're not a dumbass who got tripped by Facebook memes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
At the end of the day, you didn't do any fucking research. You read some fucking memes on Facebook that told you that an extremely corrupt business person became president and is now draining the swamp, arresting pedophiles. Somehow JFK Jr.'s fucking ghost is involved in this shit.
Well, no, it came out that JFK is Joe Biden.
Yeah, I heard that one too. But I also heard that Joe Biden's actually in a catatonic state and Donald Trump's consciousness is being transferred into his body. So we're actually getting Trump again.
Oh.
Just in Biden's body.
I mean, dude, I've been saying for a while that they're not that different.
Dude, you might be more right than you ever thought.
Damn, dude. All right, Walter, you got to talk me out of QAnon, homie. Like, where's the light, dude?
Well, you know what's so funny, man, is like, I've seen this said before, but it's the conspiracy theorists are all so close to getting it, man.
Yeah.
Like the elite are not your friends.
Yeah.
Money, power, and wealth are piling up at the top and accumulating. We're controlled by banks and corporations. The problem is always their conclusions.
Yeah.
The conclusions from that are there's a certain group that, always seems to be the bad guys in these conspiracy theories.
Usually the Jews.
Well, I was trying not to say that.
I mean, that's what it is, dude. Like, all of them are like Jewish people. They've taken over Hollywood. They've taken over this. They own all the banks, and they're the problem,
Right.
I mean, I think that, even when you look at Malcolm X, who's like, all white people are the problem for a long time. You know what I mean? For a while. And changed his views on that once he saw like other people, worshiping and, his Mecca trip and shit like that, But I think that it's easy to want someone to blame for all your problems.
Sure, and there is someone.
Yeah.
Well, there's more than someone. There's a system.
It doesn't matter.
Capitalism.
Exactly. Well, and that's like the thing that I was thinking about as I was watching this shit happen. I was like, look, if you take away every single, like, all the flags that everybody was carrying, the signs, like all this shit, and just put a bunch of people walking towards the Capitol, and you don't know who sent them, like, you're watching it and you're like, oh shit, like, should I join? Do I need to go? Like, what do I, what am I supposed to do right now? And I think that the hard thing is like, a lot of these people are like, like gay people have a ton of problems and we don't support them. But it's like, dude, they're under the same fucking system as you are. like getting their fucking neck smashed. You know what I mean? Like against Capitol's boot. And they want to like compare their struggle to the struggles of black people who it's like, dude, like they weren't able to vote. You know what I mean? For like, people in your family have been able to vote far longer than some of these people, you know, like in the 80s, there was still huge voter, like you had to pay fines and shit like that to be able to vote.
Oh, there's still tons of, there's
still
stuff in place to this day.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's just not true. But when you think about it, it's like, they're like, man, I'm just worried about these pedophile rings. And I'm like, yeah, me too. You know, like I'm worried about that shit too, homie. Like I do think that there's weird shit that happens when people amass money. Like we're seeing it now with the Epstein shit. Like that shit's real.
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood specifically has a huge pedophilia problem.
Yeah. Fucking the shit with Chester from what's that band that everybody likes that I don't?
Linkin
Park, man. You know what I mean? Like he was saying shit like, dude, there's fucked up shit in the music industry and Hollywood. Like there's this fucked up shit.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you see all these people coming out about it, it's like, all right, well now clearly Joe Biden's like a pedophile, which is crazy because if I think of those two people, and I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like him. I think that,
I know you don't.
I mean, he has sexual assault charges just like Donald Trump. Like when I think of those two people, I'm like, if one of these people is a pedophile, it's got to be Trump.
Well, Trump has multiple accusations from underage girls.
For sure. And just like the way he talks about his daughter and shit. Like, do they not see that? That like, dude, like, how do you explain that shit away? Like, how do you explain away? Like, I mean, dude, Bill Clinton was in those flight logs for Epstein, right? But so was Donald Trump. Joe Biden's name wasn't in there. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's the quote of Trump saying, it's from way back in the day, saying, oh yeah, Jeff, he likes beautiful young women, sometimes like even younger than I like them, or something like super suspicious like that.
And do they just think he didn't say that? Are they not educated? Like,
I mean, once you're willing to buy that there's ghosts and like, you know, body swaps involved in your political theories, I think it's pretty easy to buy something like, oh, he just said that to infiltrate the pedophile.
Oh,
ring.
Yeah, that's the big thing. He was
actually just undercover to expose them.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if like in 50 years, it's just like,
we find out Trump was the greatest pedophile buster of all time.
Oh my God. He just takes them all down, like puts in like communism, you know, like just it's like, all right, here we go. Like I took care of everybody.
It was like, actually the longest double agent move ever. And finally,
egg on my face, dude. Egg on my face. Trump was a good dude. You know, dude, like
maybe that's the next cue is that he's actually Karl Marx reincarnated.
I'm down. I could get down with that if you make some nice memes. You know,
I can get on it.
If you gotta win me though. You know, I need some real dank memes.
Yeah, I think I got you.
I think that I wanted to talk about it because it's like I want to figure out, like, you know, we are about rebellions, right? Like, yeah, totally about rebellions. But I think that what you said like hit me probably better than anything I've heard. But it's like it's what they can, like, what they leave out, you know, what they're willing to leave out, like the people they're willing to leave out. Of their cause is what makes it very like really different, you know, because they got a lot of it, you know. We're getting fucked. We need support. Everybody in America's like, yo, when's that next stimulus check coming?
Sure,
you know? Yeah. And they're so close.
Yeah, the problem is they want Donald Trump as president. You know,
yeah.
I don't
know.
Dude,
fuck CNN for that shit too, calling him anarchist. I was so pissed.
Yeah, I mean, the news media is not our friend for sure.
No.
Actually, it was all Antifa is what I heard, and they all just put on MAGA hats.
Well, all the text I got from George Soros was, hey, can you make it down? Like, here's a check. Even if you can't make it, here's a check. He pays my bills.
Yeah, all of our bills, right?
Yeah, it was the reason that like we needed to start this podcast because the left needed a religion. Daddy George told me to start it up. So here we are, funded and backed by Soros.
I think, my thing is just like the people did something, I guess, admirable in some ways. Like rebellion is an act of, love in a lot of ways. But they did it for misled and bad reasons. Just like how, a lot of actions can be either right or wrong. It's all about the context.
Yeah.
For me, the action of tearing down a statue of a Southern war general is totally morally good.
Yeah.
That's on the side of good, but someone else, says, I want to tear down a statue of, MLK because I actually think black people should still be slaves. I think that's bad.
Yeah. Both
actions are illegal. Both will get you sent to jail. But one of them to me is good and one is bad. And that's the same shit with these, riots or whatever.
Well, and it comes down to this weird question of morality and even the what they're willing to believe, shit like that. The science of dude, you hear these people talk about the reason why, hear me out, but race mixing and shit can be a problem. And they try and give you this science explanation that is totally unfounded, Yeah. And I think that, but morally to them, they're in their head is the best thing to do is tear down this MLK statue. Mm-hmm. So how do you change that?
How do you change people being wrong?
Or just they morally think that. Nobody's going to change my morals but me, right?
Right. But also there's material out there. If you are a person who believes there's, differences in IQ and race, and that's somehow important to you, there are plenty of, papers and essays and videos and all kinds of things you can look up disproving the bell curve, which is one of the biggest books about how that's a thing. There's information out there. Morality is very hard to define, and that's why the philosophy of ethics is super interesting. But there are things that are just empirically ignorant, and there is material out there to educate yourself on. To get someone to want to do that work, I think, is really hard, especially when it means changing or growing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the answer is, man.
Yeah. Well, because I think about that shit, and it's when I heard this shit was going on, the first people I thought of were my parents.
Right.
Right. And it's God damn, they could totally be swept up in this shit. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of our listeners' parents are the same way of ultra Christian people who are this is the way, and they're not far from it. And it's man, how do I change? You know what I mean? I'm look, your morals are fucked up. I know, I don't I know I'm starting a religion, and that sounds weird for me to tell you that your morals are fucked up, but they're totally fucked up and we need to get you out of here, because at the end of the day, I believe in I don't believe in locking up fucking people who are wild. You know what I mean? I don't believe in locking up people who have mental fucking disabilities and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I want to rehabilitate and shit like that. And it's like, that like hurt me the most, is I was like, damn, like if these people are just like drinking the fucking Kool-Aid that hard or mentally unstable or whatever, like we need to get them fucking help. And not just lock them up, you know? And I felt like when I was saying shit, people were looking at me like, damn, dude, Dave might be losing his way, you know? But I like, because so many leftists I saw were like, dude, fuck that. Like, arrest them. Oh, they need to go to prison. Oh, this. You know what I mean? Look at this good cop over here that fucking let him away, you know? And it's like, dude, fuck, like that cop's not a good dude. Yeah, maybe he's a good dude, but he does a fucking bad job.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, let's not fucking praise that dude when, you know, just 6 months ago, he's probably bashing protesters who were trying to get rights, you know? Statistically. I don't know if that's true. Maybe the dude's a saint. Maybe he was fucking not wearing clothes and joining the protest, not wearing a cop suit and joining the protesters during Black Lives Matter, you know?
Sure. I mean, regardless, he takes part in a system that is like inherently evil, and by taking part in it, he hasn't been able to change it or isn't actively trying to change it. So, you know, still fuck him.
Well, and I think that the thing I do with my family, like, is Sarah was like, I don't understand how you stay on Facebook after like all this time. And it's like, I fucking hate it, but I am the only person saying anything different to my dad out of anybody in his family.
Right.
Like, I have to keep, when he posts something stupid, I gotta fucking post facts and stats and fucking all that shit. Like, dude, my week is filled with like hopping on Facebook, seeing if my dad posted something dumb, and then researching whatever he posted about and posting back an argument.
Right.
And it's like, because like I think it's easy in this day and age to be like, we don't talk politics with our family. You know what I mean? We're so different.
It's getting harder.
We can't talk politics. You know what I mean? But then it's like, dude, the people who were down there storming a Capitol for a shitty, stupid reason are the people who, like, I'm sure people have been like, we're not going over there on Thanksgiving. You know, like, they're crazy. Like, we can't talk to them and shit like that. And it's like, I think that if we're going to do shit, you have to like start reaching out to these fucking nutsos, dude.
Yeah, I mean, as much as you can. I think there's certain people that like are too toxic or too fucking bought in to be reached.
Well, especially because they're so close. Like you said, like they are like so close to knowing it all.
I mean, I have my friends that like, you know, believe shit that I think is not right, and like I try to give them my arguments for that shit, but there's certain places where it's like I would never tell anyone that they have to do it. You know what I mean? Just because like there are relationships that are just too fucked, and you know, you don't have to put it all on yourself to change someone's perspective. If you can try, I say good on you for doing it, but at the same time, a lot of the time, these people are fully bought in on the shit that they're bought into, and you telling them the truth isn't going to fucking change that.
Yeah.
Because it's out there. That's the thing, is it's all right fucking there. You can look it all up.
Yeah.
All of the answers, all of the reasons that the shit they're saying isn't true, it's all out there.
We had to find our way. Right? Like we had to find our shit. Like I was born into that family and I'm not that, you know?
Right.
Because I fucking was like, this doesn't seem right, you know? Like I wonder, I'm sure that those people in times are like having those same thoughts of like, man, some of this shit seems off, you know what I mean? And they're just not willing, like they ignore that thought to continue to like fucking put on their buffalo horns and run down to the Capitol.
Maybe sometimes though, but some people are just, you know, it's how they make sense of the world.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't have like a foundation of questioning things, or if you have like a strong emotional reason why something's true, you don't want to find the answer that it's not true. I mean, that's like part of the reason it took me so long to leave the church, was like there was a strong reason that I wanted it to be true, and I didn't try to poke holes in it.
Yeah.
I tried to mend holes. I didn't spend time
You tried to change your mind to line up with what was going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that in a lot of ways, that's the same shit these people are doing. Or they're not even thinking that. They're just like, this is what makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Some people are pretty fucking confident, man. Some people don't feel like, oh, what if I'm wrong? Some people are just like, yep, I got it. I figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not trying to come off as like, all right, like these people are fucking take it easy. You know what I mean? Because the first thing I said, I was like, look, burn it down if you think that democracy is being taken away from you. But I do expect for you to be met with brutal force. You know what I mean? If you're going to do that shit, then you need to be met with, because no revolution has ever been easy.
Yeah.
And hopefully if you're a shitbag and you're like, I need Trump to be president because black people are going to be over me at some point. You know what I mean? Like, if shit keeps going this way, which are arguments that are happening, it's like if the left keeps going, then they're going to take away all of our power being a white male, and
white people are going to be a minority in our culture, and
which is heritage. So funny because it's like the reason you're scared of that happening is because you know that it's happened to other people. Like the reason that you're like, I don't want this to happen is because you can read history of white people doing it to black people for so long.
Sure. That's probably a part of it.
It's like, I think that I just wanted them to be met with brutal force. Like that's what I wanted, is them not to even make it in there, and be treated the same way that Black Lives Matter was treated, and to be called fucking thugs, and to be called looters, and to be called, shit like that. Right. Told to get a job, like it's Monday. Why aren't you working? And that none of that shit happened.
Of course not.
And was like, I think the biggest tragedy out of all of it to me was like, why the fuck is our government just allowing this to happen?
Because I mean, at the end of the day, there's like a certain aspect of truth to like, the Republicans behave like this is their country.
Yeah.
Regardless of like the fact that it's a democracy, or, there's two parties or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the Republicans behave like it's their country, and our government also treats it that way as well.
Yeah.
Like it's an unspoken thing, but at the end of the day, it's treated as though if you're a Christian, this is a Christian country. If you're white, it's a white country. If you're conservative, it's a conservative country.
Yeah.
And any progress to change those things is not seen as American. It's seen as like something else.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, I think that the good that's going to come out of this is that the Republican Party is kind of split for the first time in a long fucking time.
Yeah.
They've been one mind for fucking since the induction of the Conservative Party, I think. Whereas like I remember when division started happening with Democrats. The Democrat Party has been like split for so long, between like leftist and moderates and things like that. And it's like, it's funny to see Colin Powell, fucking for the very first time, like being like, I can't be a Republican anymore. And I'm like, oh, fucking Mr. Warmonger.
Yeah.
Like Mr. fucking kill everyone in Iraq. Like that dude is like, can't be a Republican anymore after this small thing where like 4 people died. I'm done with the Republican Party. And I find that interesting because it may have single-handedly destroyed the Republicans' like votes. You know, of like, we might not see a Republican president for a very long time after this.
Maybe. I don't know. A bunch of Republicans that like I'm seeing are like fully bought in on this idea that those are like Antifa or whatever the fuck else. So we'll see if this fucking
people who think it's Antifa.
I've heard people. I know of people that I know. I haven't heard it from them.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, man.
So maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong and the Republicans win still.
I mean, you have to have a certain level of cognitive dissonance and fucking, willful ignorance to continue to be a conservative at this point. So,
yeah. I think that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I think that, I guess at the end for me, it's like, I'm totally down with you fucking wrecking shit, you know? Unless you're an asshole, you know, like,
well, at the end of the day, don't be a fucking asshole. All right.
Yeah.
Don't be a white nationalist.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking dumbass. Don't be a bigot. Don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, and the other good thing, most people think is, Trump never gets to tweet again.
Pretty hype.
Yeah. People are all about that. And even that, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I guess let the motherfucker keep tweeting. I don't care,
I'm glad he's off there.
But part of it was just like, I'm like, I don't like when that, I guess I'm just having this moral dilemma of like, do we I like to like punch Nazis. Yeah. Right. But then that takes away freedom of speech. You know what I mean? In ways and shit like that. So I guess like I just got to be okay with, I have to be okay with like, dude, it's totally okay to punch Nazis. Don't think about it that much. And being on this side is better because I care about people's rights. They don't care about people's rights. So fuck them, lock them up. I don't care. Like whatever, Well, and I guess it's hard for me to get there.
Well, the thing is, like, because you want something better, right? Like, ideally, it would be reform them, right? But we don't have the ability to do that. Yeah. There's no institutions in place. Our system isn't set up in a way where we can change people or help people. Our system's only set up in a way to punish people. And because of that, we have to fucking send people who are fucking hateful and bigoted to jail for now. But in the meantime, we should also fight for prison reform. Like when we do that, it's not just for like dudes we think are cool that like sell drugs and we're like, well, they don't deserve this. We're fighting for prison reform for people that we fucking don't like so that they can become people that we do like. Yeah. Like I would love to see a fucking white supremacist, instead of going to jail and suffering for the rest of his life, go to a fucking rehabilitation center and not be a fucking white supremacist anymore. Yeah. That'd rock, but that's not the system we have.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I guess it's just, I just like, I think, I was surprised by how like weirdly I felt morally during some of that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I guess is what I'm saying. Like, as long when it comes with politics, because I think my morals are wrapped up in politics real heavy, you know what I mean? And I don't want to see people's rights taken away, and I don't want to see people get shot, and I don't want to see that shit. So part of me is like, man, like can we tread a little softer? But then, like, I just want to be okay with being like, those motherfuckers would never fight for me or my people or my cause or other people or their cause or my homies, like close friends of mine who also, you know, have even more to fight for, you know, they would never fight for them. So like, fuck them, you know, I guess like that it was, I was surprised how hard it was for me to be like, you know, they wouldn't root me on. Why the fuck would I be like, all right, like, they wouldn't ask for things to be easier for me.
Yeah, know? For sure.
And like, I don't know why I can't just get to that point, I guess is what I'm, you know.
I think you need to stop thinking of it in that way. It's like, at the end of the day, our system's fucked. Our resources are bad. What we can do with people who dissent or revolt or break the law are bad options. We don't have good options for those people within the system. And I think like we need to stop thinking of it as like, this is what they get for doing this. Like, fuck them because they wouldn't fight for me. Those people are violent. They want to harm people that we care about. And if they don't go somewhere for that, they're going to harm people that we care about.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Like,
I think that's a great point.
All we have is the prison system, unfortunately. All we have is no-fly lists, unfortunately. But yeah, if these people want to hurt the people I care about, if these people want to hurt black people, brown people, people of color, whatever the fuck, you know, LGBTQ plus people, like, fuck them. All I have for them is jail. And like, I wish I had something else. I wish that we could all live in like a nice, fluffy place where people get better. But, you know, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So, you know, sucks to suck.
Dude, I think your point is right on of like when we fight for shit, like Medicaid for all or prison reform and shit like that, we're fighting for every criminal in that spot, you know? Yeah. Not just the ones we think are cool. Not the ones that just sold a dime bag and like want to hang out with their kids and shit, you know? For
sure.
And I think that's a great point. And I think that changes some of my view too of like, we do fight for this shit, you know, by trying to cancel no-fly list and shit like that. So, yeah, dude, I think that's good, man. I think that what I want to know, well, before that, we'll transition, but I wanted to also hit you with a little Yahoo question real quick.
Oh, let's do it.
You want to do this?
Yeah, man.
So, do you want a hot take or do you want a funny take?
I want a funny take.
Okay. Christians, if life isn't a simulation, then how come Americans want a $2,000 stimulus check?
I can't parse that.
Dude,
I can't even begin to figure that one out.
I don't know if he thought that simulation and stimulus.
Oh, okay, so he's asking the Christians.
Yeah, Christians.
If life isn't a simulation, so if life is real, why do Americans want $2,000?
Yes.
I cannot, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I'll ask you one more time. Christians, if life isn't a simulation, then how come Americans want a $2,000 simulate check?
Oh, simulate check.
Maybe I said it wrong.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just couldn't compute it because it's also, okay. Yeah, I guess he fucking got him. I want a $2,000 simulate check, so obviously we're in a simulation.
I love how he was like, you know, the only people who don't believe that life is a simulation? Christians. I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking crazy, man. What was your funniest thing that you have from the protest, dude? From the insurrection? from the coup
The funniest thing
that you saw?
Oh, the girl who got maced. That got me good,
dude. Where she's crying.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see there was an?
Just trying to get into the Capitol building, and they maced me. That got me really fucking.
Dude,
good.
it's like you can't make that shit up, dude. I heard I heard there was an onion in the rag too that she didn't even get maced. Somebody showed a video where the dude holding the towel, they're like cupping like a fucking onion in it.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's deep fake. Maybe you can look that up and find out, but it looked like dude was legit rubbing an onion on this girl for press.
That rocks.
Yeah, dude, fucking incredible. I think mine is fucking dude tases himself in the balls trying to steal a painting. Oh,
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Or the fact that the dude who stole the podium. Have you heard about this dude? So everybody's seen the picture, I'm sure. He's walking out with a podium and he's waving at the camera, no mask on or anything, looking like he's having the damnedest time of his life.
Yeah.
He lives in Florida, and he's a stay-at-home dad of 5 kids. His wife is the only one that works. So he must have had to get a babysitter for them 5 kids. Fly up to DC, stole a podium, and then he's sitting there and he has 2 lawyers. And the lawyer's response to him was, yeah, I don't know what to say, dude. I'm not a magician. It's like, there's clearly a picture of you stealing a podium. So I guess we're going to try and get you out of jail. I don't know why you even got a lawyer, like how do I argue this? The fact that the person representing you sits down, this is never a good sign. If you've ever had to talk to a lawyer, they're going to tell you you're right.
Yeah.
The fact that this dude sat down, he's like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I'm not a magician.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's like, it's so funny that none of these motherfuckers believe in COVID, so none of them wore masks. Like, I remember talking to photographers, and it was like, hey, here's how you scramble people's faces in photos. At like 10 layers of scrambling, because I guess if you just throw a filter on, people can unscramble that shit, when you see those blurs over people's faces. It's not that hard to unblur them. So like people were teaching people how to do it effectively so nobody could see anybody's faces during the BLM protest. And these people are like, fuck masks. I'm just going to go to the Capitol and steal shit and walk away like nothing happened.
It's their country, dude.
Dude, it's their country. Hell yeah, that was mine. But yeah, I think coming away from it, dude, fuck them, right?
Yeah, fuck them.
Right? Like
for sure.
They're fucking, these dudes have fucked us over so many times and fucking praise cops for killing black people all the time. So fuck them.
Yeah.
Right?
The fact that there's a bunch of Blue Lives Matter posters in there as there's other people
killed a cop.
Literally punching cops in the fucking face.
They killed a cop, dude.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Can you imagine real quick for me what this Capitol, because sometimes you see pictures and you're like, damn, that looks real fucked up. And then other times you see pictures and it's like, damn, they were having a picnic at the Capitol today. They were giving out podiums and shit, but I don't understand what was happening from like, all right, we're going to rush in there with our Blue Lives Matter flags. We're going to rip flags off the poles, put Trump flags and shit like that. You go beat that cop with a fire extinguisher, right? You got to beat him. And he's like, dude, blue lives do matter, right? And it's like, not now, homie. Fucking. And the thing is like the Capitol Police are like notably. So I've been to DC, and honestly, I was like, the first time I went to DC, I was like, I asked my homie, I was like, yo, dude, like, it's crazy to me how many people of color on the police force here. And he's like, yeah, it's got like, DC's got like the biggest black police population out of like anywhere, except in places like the Capitol, right? So they've been reported on multiple times of like being racist cops and shit like that. So the craziest thing is like these guys get in there, they take selfies with some cops that are like racist, and then any cop that gave them like any type of pushback got his head bashed in with a fire extinguisher.
That's fucked.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them, dude. I don't even have a verse. You got a verse?
Do some research.
Yeah, do some research. We can do
some research.
So I did order a bunch of these fortune cookies, Walter. You want me to crack one?
Sure.
I was talking about that sometimes it gets hard to make verses, and the only thing better than like just making up a verse on the spot for the Tome of Chaos would be cracking a fortune cookie and adding it to the Tome of Chaos.
Letting chaos take the wheel.
Let's let chaos take the wheel, dude.
I'm ready.
This is beautiful. Chaos might have fucking been on our side, baby.
Hell yeah.
Learn from your mistakes. Try not to make them again.
Oh, perfect.
That's fucking beautiful.
You hear that, Capitol rioters?
Fucking
learn from your mistakes.
Fix your shit, guys.
Fix your shit.
Yeah. Hey, this has been Tome of Chaos, and you can find us everywhere, tomeofchaospodcast.com. Anything else?
Tome of Chaos Podcast on every social media.
Yeah.
Love you.
All that. We Twitch on Saturdays.
Us.
Yeah. What was that? Email us, tomeofchaospodcast@gmail.com.
Sending questions and other cool shit for us to look at.
Yeah, for sure. It's, it gets hard coming up with discussions and topics. So if there's anything you want to know, if you like the way that me and Walter discuss things and you would like for us to discuss a topic, hit us with that. And if you ever go on Yahoo Answers and you see some funny ass questions or deep questions on Yahoo Answers, send them our way too on that email, and we'll get to them and fucking answer shit for you.
Hell yeah.
So, enjoy the simulation, and I hope you all got your simulate checks.
Yeah, dude.
Later. Hey, we love you.
Peace.